Hello YouTube, Stove Mods is back with another video after quite a while. I'm sorry I can't upload more videos at the moment. I'm sorry I don't have the time, but now I do. And what I have here is my XL IKEA stove. I have a very similar IKEA stove. Some of you may have seen the video before. And these cutlery bins come in two sizes. And that is the old stove. And that's the new one. So you can see the second one is pretty much higher. And I used the legs of the old one. I just screwed them on there. It's the way it's made. You can remove them very easily and put them into the stove. And I placed them a little bit higher. I could have placed them here, but I placed them here just to have more stability for the stove. Of course, I want to see what difference in performance the size difference makes, so I have to do a boiling test, which I will. A bin with that many holes doesn't create that much of a draft effect, so it's not exactly the perfect HOBO stove, but it still works very well. Maybe it takes 1 or 2 minutes more to boil, but apart from that, it's very simple to make, very cheap to make. I know there's lots of designs of IKEA stoves out there, and I have to say I prefer mine just because it's simple, it works, it has a hatch so you can feed the fire. Again, I'm using 500 milliliters of water in the same pot as I always do, and wood that I just found on the floor. As you know, it's never possible to create exactly the same testing situation as before because there's another temperature outside and more or less wind, but I'm trying to be as precise as I can. And an advantage of this stove, apart from having a bigger burning chamber, is of course you can fit bigger chunks of wood into it, so that makes it definitely more efficient. Some people tell me I'm stuffing the stoves too fast. Yeah, maybe yes, but that's just the way I like to do it. I'm aware of the fact that some people do it another way, but I like big and fast fires. And I'm gonna start the test. As you can see, the wood is not entirely dry. I stored it in that door that you can see behind the stove, but it's been raining since winter, actually, so that means the last 6 months and before that anyway. So the wood is not that dry. That's why it's smoking a bit, because definitely it gets enough air in that type of stove, but has less of a draft effect for that. But yeah, you never can create the same conditions as before. That burning chamber is maybe 1.5 times as big as the smaller version, and you can tell by now this is a total different story. I hope we will see that in the result of the burning of the boiling test, but I guess we will. This is after 6.5 minutes, and you can see the water is clearly boiling. Still, I'm a bit disappointed because the smaller stove took 8 minutes, but from what I remember it wasn't boiling that much actually. So this one definitely performed better than the smaller version, but I thought it would be even better than that. But I guess what took away from the performance was the fact that the wood was just not dry enough, or less dry than with the smaller version. And you also have to consider the fire bed has a greater distance to the pot. So what that means is, if you don't keep it stuffed all the time and have fire burning at that height, the distance from the heat gets bigger, and especially with a stove like that has that many holes and doesn't keep the hot air contained and drawn up, yeah, the connection between the fire bed and the pot is not as good. If we wouldn't have all that holes, there would be a significant difference, because the fire, or not the fire, but the heat can't go out to the side. But still, I like this one. It's a quite efficient stove, and it performed quite well. So if you're not going to the Mount Everest or something, if you just want to have a stove that produces heat and fire and can boil you something, that is perfect. So I really recommend it. And I have to say, between the two sizes, the smaller one and the bigger one, if you have enough space in your bag, I definitely recommend this one, because you can fit in chunks like that, and especially when not having a pot on it, you will just not have to feed it as often, because you can fuel it more up in the first place, and to me that is quite an advantage. So apart from that, it burns down very clean, as you can see, almost nothing left already. So I hope you liked that. Apologies again for not having more videos put on in the last 6 months, but I just could not. And but from time to time I will give you new stuff. I still have a list with some subjects that I have to make videos of. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.